Hello, and welcome to People Talk Now. I'm your host, Vanessa Herrera, and this is the show where you ask about it and I talk about it. Happy fucking Wednesday, you guys. Happy fucking Wednesday. And welcome to episode 21. Yes, we making it out here, y'all. We doing it together. Together is better, as I always say. So yeah, you guys, it's what an eventful month it has been. This month is passing us by. It has been full of love and also full of heaviness for some people in the world. And yes, you guys. So on that note, I don't really know what a lot of you guys are doing this morning, but I will say this much. I thought today's podcast would be perfect to talk about letting go, how to let go of the past, and live in the present moment. So I wanted to dedicate today's episode to letting go and what are things that you can do to live in the present moment. So again, I feel like we've all experienced the pain at some point in our lives. And it affects us. It affects like our overall well-being and can hurt us mentally, spiritually, and physically. And we know that. And I know as well as anyone that pain is a really tough part of life. But I'm sure you're asking, how are you supposed to get rid of that dreadful feeling? And if you are like I once was, you're probably looking for a quick way to get rid of your feelings of hurt and anxiety and improve your happiness. And I get it. But the easiest way to get rid of this physic pain is to basically learn how to let go of the past, especially the pain that specific people or basically circumstances have caused. Now, I know what you're thinking already. Trust me. This is easier said than done, right? You're probably telling yourself that this isn't as simple as it sounds. Well, I'm going to pretty much go over a blueprint for you on how to let go of the past and live in the present moment. And basically, letting go of that past will allow you to live a happier life that is free from negative thoughts. It'll allow you to be content with living in the here and the now. First of all, I'm going to explain to you. Let me give you a couple of things as to why holding on to the past is bad. But doesn't the past teach us lessons? Well, 7 steps to let go of the past and negative emotions. Okay? So here are 7 steps that I've kind of created for you to let go of those negative emotions. So number 1, create an environment to tell the story of your negative emotion in order for you to satisfy your need to be listened and understood. So you need to kind of create that environment because you kind of got to you got to tell the story in order for it to come out and be released into the world. You know what I mean? So that way you can listen to it out loud, you can understand it, because there's nothing worse than suppressing those feelings. Number 2, identify those negative emotions and the things that you tell yourself that you keep, that pretty much keep you stuck to those emotions. You know what I mean? Number 3, evaluate these emotions and the impact that they have on you. Every time that you start having these feelings, ask yourself, what in the holy fuck? Why do I keep feeling this way? Like, why am I in this vicious ass cycle? Okay. Number 4, discover your positive motivation for letting go of negative or painful emotions. Everybody, I feel like at one point or another, discovers something that motivates them to kind of just slowly but surely let go of those things that just always bring you back to that negative story or that negative thing that draws you back to that pain that doesn't allow you to let go. Number 5 is really important to me, at least. So this is like probably one of the most important ones to me out of these ones. So take responsibility for your own happiness. Because nobody can do that for you. No one can make you happy. People can maybe show things, can maybe suggest things, but when it boils down to it, no one can basically show you how to own your own happiness but you. Number 6, I would say evaluate your ability and willingness to let go. You got to start asking yourself, am I ready to already start this new transcendence head on into my new life that I keep saying that I want, but I'm not allowing it to happen because I keep going back to this negative shit all the time. And I keep going back to the story. I keep going back to the pain. And I'm in this vicious ass cycle that just doesn't let me move forward with my life that I so much deserve. You know what I mean? You have to ask yourself that. And of course, here's number 7. Create a new positive experience that will replace the negative one. You know what I mean? You have to find that the positive to override that negative, that you're constantly, find something, find an outlet, find something to kind of help you move forward and start living in this present moment. And like I've always told you guys before in my previous podcast, is that you got to find something to be grateful for, If you waking up, being alive is not something to you that you're like, well, that's not enough. That's basically not enough for me to be grateful. Like obviously you have to find something else. You know what I mean? Like find something else that is going to basically let you move forward. So one of the things that I know why holding on to the past is bad is because holding on to the past is always damaging in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Even holding on to positive events from the past creates limitations in people's lives and kind of sets boundaries for the future. So you're just kind of like, oh yeah, like that was like a positive thing. But it's like, you got to learn to basically sort of build this good habit and tell yourself, you know what? I'm basically going to start reminding myself that what happened in the past is back there. It can never be now if I don't allow it to be. And just have more of those moments where you're taking that breath, you're taking your breath and you're feeling yourself for what you are now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to paint this for you. Could you imagine someone who is living a successful life today, spending all of their time basically reliving a goal they failed to meet 10 years ago? Imagine that. You're just like, they're like doing it over and over and over again. And no, they likely learned from their failure, but then moved on and achieved many other successes. Let's look at like a common example of someone who has a problem letting go. Have you ever met someone who maybe retired, right? And they're always talking about their career in the past. It's a pretty common thing. But also it's kind of sad because although it's fine to be proud of your previous career and want to talk about it, but when it is always the topic of conversation, it shows that they have not let go of that part of the past. And unfortunately, this constant talk of a previous career means that they're not living life in the right now, in the present. And that's kind of hard to enjoy retirement, and so to speak, and get on with the next phase of life when they really want to still be working, right? So you need to let that previous part of your life go to fully enjoy the next stage. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense because I feel like I'm making a whole lot of sense this morning. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Okay, so even innocent statements can sometimes show you are being held back by the past. Let's look at an example of what I mean, right? So I don't know, this might be a little far-fetched, but let's say that dessert I made a Christmas a few years ago was the best I ever tasted. Innocent, right? You're like, yeah. But this can be like an example of a limiting mindset. And this statement creates judgment, right? It creates a judgment about the dessert that kind of basically maybe can make any improvements that could be made in the future. You're stuck on an old recipe being perfect. And I speak up recipes because, I make up recipes. I'm always trying to make new things. So this means no experiments to improve the recipe and closing your mind to the idea that something better is actually possible. Okay? And while this is an innocent example, if you're making comments like that about a career or a former relationship, you can be limiting yourself or even setting yourself up for failure in the future. And basically, holding on to the past prevents you from moving on in life. And even though it's great to appreciate your past positive experiences, I'm not saying that you and learn from your mistakes. It is best to use that information in the present moment to create the best version of yourself. Okay? And I've heard this all the time. Trust me. People are like, but doesn't the past teach us lessons? Our mistakes teach us important lessons. Yeah, okay. Our experiences, good and bad, change us. They make us into slightly new versions of ourselves. They teach us all the things to do and things to avoid. But once the lessons are learned, these teachable moments, and I'm doing the quotey fingers right now, can begin to hold us back. And I bet you're wondering, like, why? Well, you will never be able to fully apply past experiences to present situations. You know what I mean? No current situation will ever be identical to something that happened years ago. Well, for example, say if you're trying to apply negative experience from a past relationship to a current relationship, it will never be exactly the same. Different people are involved and different circumstances exist. Now, I understand you may be tempted to use your past experience as an excuse or justification to act in a certain way in your current relationship, but the situations are different and the outcomes will always be different as well. So, think about it. You may want to avoid responsibility and blame your past for your current actions or inactions, but that will not empower you to get out of the victim mindset. You know what I mean? You can accept and embrace the person that you have become. You know what I mean? And you can do that you can do that from your past relationships. But those relationships, will not be duplicated with new people. You have to move on from old situations and accept your current life as it is, rather than just wasting your energy, you know what I mean, and reliving your past. It is best to focus basically on improving your future. And that means letting go of the past. Relying fully on past experiences prevents you from experiencing anything new in the now. That's what I'm trying to say. And anytime you start relying on your past to mold your current life, you limit what you see. You basically limit what you see to things that you seen. Basically, what I'm trying to say is anytime that you start relying on your past to mold your current life, you limit what you see to things that you have seen before. This makes your past your only source of future creation. Does that make sense? So you must think of the past as being kind of irrelevant in order to experience the present. And you won't be able to properly basically plan your future and truly live in the moment if you don't let go of some of your life's history, in a sense, So I know what you're thinking. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Shit, I don't know. But I'm going to basically, how can we do this? Okay, I'm going to create yet some more steps on how you can basically let go of those negative emotions, right? Like how you're probably like, how do I do it? How do I let go of the negative emotions, Vanessa? How do I move forward? So now that I've told you things that you could do, here are things to actually let go of those negative emotions, right? So usually you want to create that environment to tell a story of your negative emotion or to satisfy that need to be listened to and understood, right? Because most of the time you want to, when you're feeling that way, you want to start telling people and like you're reliving the story over and over again. And they're looking at you like, what the fuck? Haven't you told me this story like 20 fucking times? Like, when are you going to let this go, man? Just drop it. Well, not feeling like other people really know you can cause you to feel hopeless and kind of just, estranged from the rest of humanity. But without being able to have that experience, that other people understand you or can relate in some way, you're kind of left feeling a little empty and discouraged sometimes. You know what I mean? Start feeling like a little bitch. I'm just kidding. And during these feelings of isolation, though, can even make your existence feel artificial almost. And loneliness and depression can go hand in hand, which is why feeling alienated can basically, it can be harmful, And instead, if you're able to create an environment around you that will allow other people to relate to your negative emotions or past experiences, you'll be able to feel validated and move on. And this may involve finding support group. Sometimes you may need to go to a counselor who's willing to listen to you and provide kind of, some sort of insight for your experiences. This kind of, it might help you feel less alone and more supported. Or you could just stop being a little bitch. I'm just kidding. Okay, or you can come talk to me. That's cool too. You guys know you can message me at any time. I'm always available. Except on the weekends. Another thing you could do is identify those negative emotions that you feel and the things that you tell yourself that keep you stuck to those emotions. And trust me when I say it takes practice to learn how to notice and identify your negative emotions. And when you start to feel that negative emotion, such as like anxiety, you got to try to pinpoint exactly what you're feeling. For example, let's throw an example. If you feel jealous when you see an ex with a new person, recognize that emotion is jealousy and acknowledge the things you're telling yourself to keep you feeling that way. Don't hide your feelings from yourself. And while you might not need to tell everyone around you what you're feeling, you don't need to suppress your feelings completely. That's what I'm telling you. Don't push that shit down to your feet. It's not healthy. And being able to identify the feeling by putting a name to it is always better than pretty much just, you start pretending that it's not there, because that shit's not healthy for you. It's just not. And recognize why you feel that way that you do. Think about what happened that got you to this place. Like, why is it that I feel this shit all the time? Like, or why do I keep going back to this? And don't blame your emotions and the way you feel on someone else. You got to recognize that. And here's an example of how you can look at it. Your ex likely isn't seeing a new person to get back at you. Your feelings when you see them together come from inside you. And it is best to accept your emotions as being natural. And that's kind of a lot of the times when we're talking about things in the past where it can go wrong because you're too busy trying to say, well, like, oh, there's, you're denying the fact that you're not supposed to feel that way. You have to start acknowledging your emotions so that way they can help you move on. And this can be an essential step in letting go. Also, another thing that you can do is evaluate these emotions and the impact that they have on you all the time. So start asking yourself questions like, what are these emotions doing to you? Are they bringing you happiness or misery? Are they helping you or hurting you? And using the same example of seeing your ex with someone else, are your feelings of jealousy benefiting you in any way? Is feeling jealous going to change the situation? Probably not. Recognize that these negative emotions that you're always feeling are causing you unnecessary stress that isn't going to affect anyone but you. And your jealousy will not have an impact on your ex or the new relationship. It will also not impact your future in any type of fucking positive way. It just won't. And you have to start taking notice of the misery that your negative emotions is basically making you feel, and start kind of reevaluating the position in your life and let it go. Just let that shit go. Boof, into the wind. Goodbye. Ooh, we really getting somewhere, y'all. Okay, another thing that you could do, discover your positive motivation for letting go of negative or painful emotions. Now, personally, finding some motivation to let go of all these negative feelings that you start to get will basically help give you that boost and help you move on. So you're probably like, Vanessa, wait, like you're telling me all this information. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Well, get into good habits, y'all. Good habits. What are good habits? Okay, eat well. You eat well, like I always say, you eat good, put good things inside your body, you're going to feel good inside. So offer forgiveness to your ex or to a friend or whatever is causing you to go back to your past. You gotta forgive. You gotta forgive those people for any negative circumstances or events that you endured. You gotta consider the positive possibilities for your future to keep you motivated to move on. You gotta do it. You just got to. Okay, now I know earlier I said take responsibility for your own happiness. Here's how you can do that. You cannot blame your feelings on someone else. Doing so is basically allowing someone else to have complete control over you. Boom. Cha-ching. Cash my check, y'all. Okay. People who have basically sought out and found happiness know quite well that a crucial milestone, and I'm telling you that this is a crucial milestone on the path to happiness, is taking personal responsibility. And I know what if you're wondering, what does that mean? This means not blaming other people for your unhappiness and figure out ways to be happy in spite of the past and previous behaviors of other people. Now, once you take personal responsibility, you're going to be able to be, to basically recognize the truth about happiness, which is that it depends more on your attitude than it does on an external conditions. So your emotional states depends on how you interpret events, not what actually happened. So your memory is not a videotape. Okay, let's say that. Your memory is not a fucking videotape. Just gonna hit rewind forward. Let's pause that. Even though we act like it is, this is why you have so many different witnesses stories to the same fucking crime. Your emotions color your memories. This means that your happiness or emotional state relies on your personal understanding of the past circumstances, right? And you're probably like, well, what the fuck? I don't know what to... Okay, if you view your ex's new partner as a threat, for example, you'll feel jealousy. You're going to feel frustration. However, though, if you view this new person as a sign that it is time to move on, you will experience a sense of peace and possibly even gratitude. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And while it, sometimes it's difficult, to believe that you can be happy regardless of any other circumstances, it is best to remember that happiness is ultimately in your mind. Okay? It's in your mind. Boy, And, do not attribute your unhappiness to anything outside of you. If you do, you'll be blaming others or events rather than spending your energy improving yourself. All right? Now, evaluating your ability and willingness to let go, ask yourself, how is my willingness to let go of shit? Now, I get it. Some wounds tend to stand the test of time more than any could ever expect. But they feel so deep that it seems like there's no way they can let it go, right? Sometimes you got to, but you got to check your resistance to letting these things go. Now, look closely here. Look closely with me, guys. Let's. You guys see it? You guys see the microscope? There may be an endless shadow cast by the pain of your past that is clouding your future. And it's easy to get stuck in this darkness. Trust me. I know. I've been there. But are you willing to let it go and move on? I'm asking you right now. Looking at yourself. If you're in your car right now, sipping on your coffee this Wednesday morning, you got to ask yourself, are you willing to let go and move on? If not, think about what is stopping you right now. The power of moving on does not only lie with the nature of events themselves, but the power relies on the steps forward that a person is willing to take and how much effort he or she, is willing to put forth to push the emotional rock out of that way. And letting go basically involves remembering the circumstance, but reconsidering it from a different and more realistic perspective. You know what I mean? And you're probably like, damn, no, you gotta try, because I'm always telling people like, some people are always telling me like, oh, just, they start telling me these stories about the past and, you get to thinking and you're looking at someone and I've been there, does it make me any better than someone? No, it does. I'm constantly always learning, but I can tell you from experience, everything that I'm telling you now is all experience. you have to. If you really, truly, you say to yourself, if I ask you this one question and I say, do you really want to be happy? And you say, yes, 100%? Yes. Okay. Then you need to reconsider, okay, from a different perspective, a realistic one, on letting go. Okay. Now you can create a new positive experience that will replace the negative one. So here we go. Let me just say, you can create a change for you by actually focusing on something positive. So now I get it. Well, while some positive thinking is great, positive actions will take you further in life. And, and I know you guys understand what I'm saying when I say this, because making a deliberate decision to initiate a positive change in your life, you're basically going to make a positive action that will connect you with the outcome that you want in your life. And it's in moments like this when I'm trying to explain to you guys, when I started having that mindset and I started thinking like that and I started saying, damn, I'm the one that's responsible for any time I feel miserable. Like, yo, that's me allowing shit to enter into my fucking space. That's me allowing anyone in any other circumstance to take control of my fucking emotions. And this is what I'm telling you guys. It can help you, because these things are like domino effects. So when every time you choose to be happy and every time you choose to take a positive action, I don't mean a positive experience. Like you go and you say, oh, it was so positive. Everybody was hugging. And no, I mean like you make a positive decision for your life. You take action and you're like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing yoga because it brings a fulfilling experience in my life. You know what I mean? I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out at 5 a.m. every morning. And I'm going to go jog. I'm going to fucking do a hike because it brings that positive action into my life. It's going to start connecting you to the outcome that you want in your life, which is to be living in the present moment, to be happy. So if you're trying to get over the jealousy of seeing your ex with a new person, get out there and meet new people yourself. Take action, y'all, to move on with your life. Create new memories to replace the old ones, to start enjoying your current life that you have right now, the one where you're listening to people talk now, the one where you're listening to me talk to you. You know what I mean? Like telling you all this information that I didn't just, bust out of my ass. You know what I mean? Like this takes experience. This takes life being lived. This takes knowledge of me being able to tell you guys this because it's happened to me. You know what I mean? I've been here before. And, once you start to let go of your negative emotions that you constantly feel, you can live more in the present moment. And the best way to do this is to build habits into your daily routine. And here are those habits that I'm going to help you out with some. All right. They're probably like, what, Vanessa? What's going on? So face your negative emotions. Now, there are many moments in life that are painful and hard to endure. And during these times, you're going to feel anger, grief, embarrassment, anxiety, remorse, or a lot of other negative emotions. But while you likely will basically want to escape the pain because there's no other way, like you don't want to face it head on. Somehow you're going to try to push it away. And doing this it's going to only perpetuate the pain in the long run. So avoiding these feelings, it just basically creates suffering and it keeps you from fully living your life. Now, if you're able to basically mindfully acknowledge your negative emotions, no one's saying that you got to be like, oh, they don't exist. No, I get it. There's negative shit out there, but they can end up being your greatest sources of strength, right? Rather than turning away to avoid feeling hurt, learn to turn towards your feelings. Learn to look at that shit head on in the face and say, what's up, bitch? Okay? Bring a sense of open attention to that wounded part of you, that part that always avoids it. because you can't grow if you always avoid it. And you're going to start making good choices about how to respond to things. And every time you're going to notice it too. When you respond to things, you're going to be like, damn, like I am impressed with myself right now, the way I handle this situation. You know that? You're going to start noticing it because you're going to know that from a previous other time you responded negatively. So you're going to be able to tell the difference between the two. Trust me. Now, it may sound like a contradiction, but it is important to understand by turning towards negative emotions, you're going to be able to face them and find the relief you're looking for. Okay? So, feel your sadness or anger. Don't hide how you feel. Now, no one's saying, like when I say, letting go of the past, I'm not saying don't hide how you feel. Hiding from your feelings is suppressing your emotions. And it'll only make you feel worse in the long run. Trust me. Okay? Bottling up your emotions will cause them to build up and eventually explode in a very unhealthy way, if you know what I mean. I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Wank, wank. Don't ever feel ashamed if you're experiencing like certain emotions. I'm telling you right now, they're part of who you are in that moment. Experience them. But, don't go, thinking of the past to make you even more sad or like, oh, I remember that. No, don't do that. Just accept your feelings without judgment. Recognize that they are normal and that you have to go through them in order to get past them. And when the time is right, you'll let go of these feelings. They'll go in and they'll go out, but not until you have let them have their own little time. You know what I mean? Don't take anything personally, y'all. This is the biggest lesson for me. Don't take anything personal, man. Being mindful includes recognizing that nothing that other people do is a reflection of their own reality, not yours. I mean, they may hurt you, but it's rarely on purpose. And I say that with my quotey fingers. When you're able to become immune to other people's actions, you won't take things personally because, and be a victim of needless suffering because you're going to be like, oh, whatever. It's it's no need to take anything personally. You know what I mean? They're being them and you realize that you're being you. So that's the beautiful thing about not taking anything personal. When we start replacing negative thoughts with positive action, as I was saying earlier, negative thoughts simply turn your brain to mush, right? Because all you can see is just anger. You're like a bull. You're like, brr. But the longer you allow negative to fester, that's another fancy way of me saying simmer. The softer you will get. Everyone makes terrible decisions, and I get that at some point. And those thoughts consume us. You know what I mean? They start taking over, kind of like a plague. But you have to look for something in your negative thought patterns that you may be able to turn into a positive outcome and turn it into action. The key here to moving past negative thoughts basically lies in the action that you take in those moments of negativity. What are you going to do in that moment where you feel that frustration, that, this anxiety, like all those things? What are you going to do? Because having negative thoughts during stressful times is part of life's experience. And these thoughts are needed to provide you with an opportunity to take action and reach a new high, right? So you have to think about that. Another thing is loving yourself unconditionally, man. Like that's another thing that, I would always say like I did, but I didn't feel like I did. And then I would go back to it again. And then I feel like I wasn't. And it wasn't like, it didn't feel like it's a real thing. Like it didn't feel real, But I feel personally like the most courageous thing that we can do, that you can ever do, any of us, is love yourself unconditionally. And you have the chance to accept each moment of your life and its imperfections, because we're not perfect, y'all. And that's fine. Do you, boo? And if you're able to let go of all these fucking limitations, you can get free. Yeah, you can free yourself, basically, to experience life to its highest potential, to your highest potential. And when you're able to love yourself unconditionally, you're literally become light. You become light of truth that radiates nothing but just inner strength. And people see that. And they're like, damn, I want a piece of that action. Not a piece of that ass. I mean, they might want that too, but anyways, loving yourself allows you to be free from judgment. You don't feel nothing, girl or guy. You are the source of your own joy. How sweet is that? Huh? How sweet is that? Meaning that you have to cultivate your qualities of love and experience them. And each quality of unconditional love, such as peace and wisdom, it comes from inner awareness. And most of the time, it's expressed through your conscious activities, right? So these kind of things help you become who you are. Loving yourself unconditionally is a continuous process that is challenged by opportunities that are disguised as momentary obstacles that you encounter that will ultimately help you reach deeper and move forward with the grace of love. But just remember, either traumatic or joyful, but each moment of your life for your own personal growth is an opportunity to love yourself deeper. And think about that. And loving yourself begins with accepting yourself for who you are right now. You have to view apparent limitations as simple as creations of the past thoughts and feelings that can just be released into the air and let them go. And when you're ready to do the work to release your baggage and move on with your life, you'll be able to love yourself unconditionally. But this is an important one. Okay, I had to go through this. You have to learn to forgive. If you're holding on to resentment, you're not hurting the person who hurt you. You're only hurting yourself. And part of being self-aware and being mindful is having the ability to let go of the past and focus on what you're doing right now and living without carrying burdens of the past experiences, because that fucking sucks, man. Nobody wants to do that. I know you don't want to do that. And acknowledge the pain that you may feel from the past experience and accept the feeling without judgment. Then kind of gently remind yourself that you have the courage to forgive and offer yourself the freedom to live without resentment, because nobody wants to live with that shit. If you're looking for an outlet, you're saying, Vanessa, how can I do this? Do what I did. Write a letter, burn it. If you're holding on to negative feelings towards a person, now's the time to take that moment to sit down and write them a letter detailing exactly how you feel and why. And however, you will not be sending this letter. You know what I mean? You don't think about it like, oh, wait, what? And like, no, you don't need to just write it all down. Write it all, let it all out. And give yourself the freedom to write anything you want. No one will ever see this letter. So let yourself curse, use bad language if you feel the need to, because I fucking do it all the time. It feels good. And write down all of your feelings about this person and your experiences with them. This can be a very powerful healing tool. Trust me, because I felt good when I did it. Don't feel shame or guilt about the things you write. And don't suppress any or deny your feelings. Don't start doing none of that shit. Get it all out on paper, knowing that no one can judge you for it. Make sure that you write this letter basically to the person as if you're talking directly to them. And once your letter feels finished, read it out loud with the intended emotion that you started it with, as if the person were in the room with you. And do this as many times as you need until you feel like you've gotten it all out. You know what I mean? It feels good. Trust me, I'm a writer. I know writing things out feels good. Now that you've honestly expressed your feelings in a harmless way, you know what I mean? Don't, sipping on tea. Release the negativity and tell yourself it is time to move on, man. Let go of this negativity, man, by setting this letter on fire. Now you're like, damn, Vanessa, what kind of witchcraft shit is this? But trust me, it feels good. It's a good experience. You try it once, you'll see what I'm talking about. And as you watch the letter burn, think to yourself how you are releasing the negativity written in it. This will help you acknowledge the pain and let go of your hostility towards someone else. It will improve your relationship with them. And even if you have no contact with them, repeat this exercise whenever it is needed, because the letter does not have to be about a person. It could be about a past event or anything in your life that is causing you to have these negative thoughts over and over and over again. Okay? Use Crayola window crayons to write your worries on tiles or maybe on window. Wash them off. I don't know. Some people don't want to write and burn a letter. It's basically, okay, look, the process of thinking about your worries, right, and listing them will help them get them out of your head. So do you know how I've always been, I sometimes tell you guys to declutter your room and how it will declutter your mind? Well, declutter your mind by removing everything from it that causes you to worry or any type of negative feelings. And after you finish with your list, wash it away, y'all. Now, try to mimic this with your mind to make it become clean and clear as well. Just try to clear it out. I don't know if you guys know what a Buddha board is, but you can try to use a Buddha board. That's always helpful to help you release bad feelings. A Buddha board is a great way to release negative feelings. It is easy to use. You just fill the stand with water and dip in a brush and start drawing or writing. And as the water evaporates, your art will slowly fade away, allowing you to practice the art of letting go. So I feel like this can help provide you with like a instant stress relief as your negative feelings melt away. You'll have that ability to basically feel relaxed and have a clearer and calmer mind. And that blank slate that results from basically evaporation of the water is a perfect symbol for starting over from fresh, don't you think? I feel like it does. Practice being more present. Here's a good one. I feel that if you try to anchor yourself in the present moment, and you stop, kind of going over the past or feeling anxious about the future and just think about the moment at hand, right? And if you're able to completely present and any external forces such as a job or stress or overwhelming distractions with no longer being a limiting factor in your life, you can actually train your mind to properly address any external forces in this moment and find peace. And that's, to me, like, that's good. I feel like if I could do that, you could do that. Anybody could do that. We could. It's easier than it actually sounds. You know what I'm saying? But why does living in the present make people happier? Well, because the majority of negative thoughts concern either the past or the future, and worrying about the future requires thinking about the future. And if you bring yourself into complete awareness of the present moment, your worry will melt away. Because even thinking about tomorrow is fucking horrible. You got to think about right now. Right now. Engage with your world, man. You've likely had that type of experience of sitting in a meeting only to realize all of a sudden that you have no idea what has been discussed for the last 15 minutes. You zoned out. And your mind was somewhere else. And you've just come back to a state of awareness. You're like, oh shit, what the fuck? Oh fuck, what do they say? Well, these autopilot moments, as I like to call them, occur when you're lost in your own thoughts that you aren't aware of the world around you. And this results basically in your life just passing you by. Just like that. And the best way to avoid these blackouts is to engage with the world around you. Your engagement with the present moment will start as a cascade of other benefits. And once you get used to something, trust me, you'll probably start doing it mindlessly. For example, your morning commute is probably done each day in like this haze because you've taken it the same route hundreds of times, right? However, if you start engaging with the world around you, you'll start to realize that almost everything is different every time you take the drive or every time you walk outside, every time you go to the gym, every time you go to school, to work. And you'll see new people and see new patterns of light and even feel new sensations along the way. But see, you have to start noticing these things to allow you to live in the moment and recognize that the world around you is constantly changing. It's you that's not wanting to change. You know what I'm saying? Something that I like to do, I do it with my daughter all the time. I try to do it to my son, but sometimes he just looks at me like I'm crazy. I get it. He's getting older. Teenage years coming up. Recite happiness and confidence affirmations. Now, positive words are a powerful tool, and we know that. So they can change how you feel about your day as soon as you wake up and improve your vision of you. And this is why so many people rely on happiness and confidence affirmations to improve their outlook on life. And that's fine. That's good. That's a good thing. But affirmations are a short phrase that you can repeat to yourself throughout the day. And if you repeat them on a regular basis, an affirmation can alter that negative feeling that you have stored in your, subconscious mind back there. You can be like, sayonara, motherfucker. Affirmations can replace harmful sentiments such as anxiety, doubt, with feelings of strength and confidence. But you got to do it, man. You got to repeat and you got to build that you got to develop those good habits inside of you, which I know a lot of you have. Because if you didn't have those daily habits, you probably wouldn't be listening to people talk now. So, applaud to you. I'm applauding to you. Hold on. Let me applaud to you right quick. Oh, yeah. Okay, so write down your emotions in a journal. This is always beautiful. I'm a writer, so, you can always expect me to be journaling on something, doodling or, whatever. Okay, anyways. So, look, I feel like writing down your emotions in a journal is one step towards self-discovery. And you're probably like, huh? But it allows you to make sense out of your life and organize your feelings, and that's fine. By writing down your emotions, you'll be able to face some significant turning points in your life and resolve traumas that are prohibiting you from moving on. And this, believe it or not, this activity allows you to look at the past and find inspiration that you need to move forward. You know what I mean? Because you look at that and you're like, damn, okay, I was doing it. Look at me. Look how far I've come. I mean, this is beautiful. And an emotional journal writing is an effective way to reduce your stress. And it gives you that opportunity to basically freely express yourself and gain sense of relief and whatever it is that you need to relieve yourself of. You know what I mean? And once you make a journal writing into a habit, which is what I've done, you'll be able to grow mentally and emotionally. And I mean, who doesn't want that? All right, what other bits can I tell you guys? Okay, another one that I feel is to practice visualizing things, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So if we practice changing the outcome of a situation by altering your thoughts and your expectations of something, right? So say this involves you recognizing the outcome that you want and then visualizing it happening over and over with all of your senses. What do you see? Smell? Like, what are you hearing? What do you feel? Imagine yourself at the final stages of your goal and do what you have to do to get to that place. You know what I mean? That's nothing wrong with that. Reflect on everything you've achieved every now and then. Pause and take a moment to reflect on your achievements and the valuable lessons that you may have learned from things that didn't go entirely as expected. You know what I mean? Like, this kind of will help you see what you've done in the past that has led to your success and build upon it for your future. Make it a habit to notice and focus on what's good in your life. You know what I mean? The benefits of taking that time to notice and focus on your positive things in your life are nearly endless. People who are able to practice gratitude on a regular basis have been shown to basically feel more alive, and you have more kindness towards other people. You sleep better at night, and you have stronger immune systems. And I've done my research on this, trust me. So I know that gratitude can be expressed for something as a delicious piece of cake or a really nice walk, and if you can write brief reflections on moments for which you're thankful for, you can significantly increase your well-being and satisfaction with your life. Let's not forget that we have to take good care of ourselves. You know what I mean? No matter how indulgent self-care activities may sound, it is kind of crucial that your overall well-being should consciously take good care of yourself to maintain, a healthy sense of self-esteem and produce all these positive feelings to boost your confidence, right? So, self-care can also help with stress management. Take care of yourself. Go get your nails done. Get your hair done. Sit down, lay down, rest, read a good book, take a walk, go on a drive. While a little bit of stress can be a healthy motivation to kind of meet deadlines or finish a task, chronic stress can affect your mental and physical health. And we know that. Okay? Well, all us adults on here listening to this, we know that. If you start to develop these positive habits, like eating healthy, exercising, connecting with your loved ones, it can decrease the toxic effects of stress by boosting your mood and getting you to that energy and level of confidence that you want. You got to learn how to change your mood. And this is something that I used to struggle with a lot, because I used to be that type of person that once I was in a certain mood, I was like, oh, this is how I'm going to be for the rest of the day. Or like something goes wrong in the morning and you're just like, oh, my day's ruined. Like, that's it. I couldn't possibly, like, blah, blah, blah. So dramatic. How dramatic I was. Jesus. Now I'm using my drama for good. Hello. Okay. So the methods of like doing this may be different for everybody. But while going for a great run might boost your mood or, my mood, it may not be the right ticket for someone else. You know what I mean? The key is to kind of figure out what it is that boosts your mood and keep that activity in mind whenever you need a pick-me-up. And that's it. That's right there. Like if you ever thought of a moment where you're like, fuck, I need a pick-me-up, and you know, like you think of something and it just puts a goddamn smile on your face, you're like, that's your pick-me-up. If it's playing a guitar, playing a piano, fucking making music, going dancing, going for a walk, run, having sex, whatever the fuck, just do it. Some popular things that people do aside from exercising include listening to music, listening to inspirational speakers or podcasts, appreciating the things around you and acting on how you want to feel. So, I wasn't going to say this, but, because I'm not, I want to just point this out there that I'm not a doctor, and everything that I've said here is basically just based on my own personal experience and life experience and stuff like that. And I really just want to help because, this is what People Talk Now is all about. But seek support, y'all. If some of you guys are having trouble letting go and like not knowing how to live in the present moment, I would say having support of other people will always help you achieve that goal of letting something go. Talk to others who other people that can relate to you, you know what I mean? Because I know that's always helped me. And just relate to your people that can relate to your situation and kind of show you a little empathy and like for your feelings, and seek out support, from trusted friends, from professionals to help you get through the darker points in life. You know what I mean? If that's what it takes. And there are important things to be learned from the art of being able to let things go. Letting things go, and the first step is in the first step to relinquishing, any unhealthy attachments to people. It's letting things go is the first step to letting that go. Unhealthy attachments to people, events that have happened in your life, irritations that happen to you. And the present moment is the best time to make a conscious decision to release negative influences and enjoy life as it unfolds in front of you. You know what I mean? And hold on, you guys. Let me get a quick sip of water. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, I'm so sorry, you guys. Had to get a little sip of water. It's hard work. It's hard work being in this dude. But yes. So, you guys, I hope anything that I said here makes some sense to you guys, because, if you kind of like begin with those 7 steps that I told you guys and just start living in the moment, and, it'll kind of help you, and you'll start to learn and practice this mindfulness to help reduce your stress and anxiety in your life. And just start replacing all your negative thoughts with positive actions. Positive actions, where's that, you guys? Self-care to help you grow and walk away from all these negative situations, even if it's, your own, if they're self-inflicted. I understand, but the hardest part is in this process of everything that I've explained to you guys is moving out of your own comfort zone. That's probably the hardest process, because nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to stay in that nestled little spot and just be like, yeah, everything's great here. I'll just sit right here. Thank you very much. But you got to try. And, I get it, because most of the time we don't want to try something that's new or unfamiliar. You know what I mean? It's scary. I get it. But true and valuable wisdom comes along when we accept the present and letting go of the past and having faith in our future. So, yeah. So build your journal, you guys, powerful daily gratitude habits, and you'll start to kind of discover all the great things that are already in your life. You know what I mean? If you can't see them, you'll see them. You'll start to see them soon. And yeah, so I hope that today's podcast, something that I said to you guys, really makes sense and that really resonates with you. God, what is wrong with me today? I can't talk. Something that I said today really resonates with you guys, and really was able to help you out. Of course, it's always nice to kind of be able to help anybody out, and it makes me feel good to be able to share, some of these things, because I wouldn't have been able to share any of these things with you guys if I felt Like I didn't have something that happened to me similar in the past, but it's one of those things where I was trying to tell you guys that you basically, you know, use it for a positive experience, and you use it to build a better now. You don't use it to basically destroy your happiness or destroy your capability of becoming the best you that you can. So, yes, you guys, oh my gosh, today is really fun. Today I was very much in teacher mode. I was much in like a friend. I felt like everybody all wrapped up in a once today. So it's been really nice talking to you guys about letting go of your past and living in the present moment, because that's something that I basically had to learn, you know? I had to let go of my past, and I had to learn how to start living in the present moment, and it takes work. You know, it takes work to get to that point in our lives, you know what I mean? And it has to do with that willingness. You have to be willing, okay? So, on that note, yes, as always, you guys, you know, if you have any questions regarding today's show, if you have any concerns, you want to share your thoughts, or you would like to be a co-host, or there's a subject that you think I should talk about, feel free to email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com. And you can reach out to me on Instagram at peopletalknow. And I'm also on YouTube, so you can look for me at People Talk Now on YouTube. And yes, it's, you know, and as always, you guys know that I like to end my show with a joke of the day and a word of the day, because I like you guys leaving my show learning something new. And so I'm going to share the joke of the day with you guys, and then I'm going to, you know, do the word of the day. So today's joke of the day was this. Yesterday, I saw a guy spill all his Scrabble letters on the road. I asked him, "What's the word on the street?" You know what I would have said? I would have said, "People talk now, bitch." Oh, gosh. That was a good one. That was funny. Okay, so word of the day, y'all. We here. We made it. Wednesday morning. Ooh, ooh, what's up? Okay. Okay, how the do you pronounce this? I know a lot of words. I like to think that my vocabulary is pretty well, but I don't think I've actually heard of this word before. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Can't hear it. Okay. Parvenu. Parvenu. So it's Parvenu. Kind of like Parvenu. Yeah, Parvenu. The definition of Parvenu means one that has recently or suddenly risen to an unaccustomed position of wealth or power and has not yet gained the prestige, dignity, or manner associated with it. So did you know French has been generous in providing us with the terms for obscure folks who suddenly strike it rich? In addition to parvenu, French has loaned us novenu, riche, arriviste, and roturier, all of which can describe a rich person of origins, especially one who is a bit snobby. Those colorful and slightly disparaging terms for the newly moneyed clearly show their French heritage, but it may be harder to see the French background of a term. So, locals once used for coastal merchants made rich through the fishing trade. So, basically, it's someone who's not accustomed to being rich. Shit. Oh man, I do not want to be a parvenu. No, anytime soon. Okay. Yeah, you guys. So today's been a real freaking slice, and thank you guys so much for listening to the show. This was episode 21, and it's been really fun. I hope that after today's episode, you're hopefully able to let some shit go, y'all. And yeah, how to get all professional on you guys. But I hope that, anything I said was helpful. And yeah. So go out and use the word Parvenu. And, hit me up. Hashtag, if you use the word, hashtag People Talk Now. All right. Hashtag me in it, and I'll share your, I'll go ahead and share your response on my page, give you a shout out. Otherwise, you guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, it's been a real fucking slice. And thank you for listening to People Talk Now. And have a kick-ass Wednesday. Bye.